So the project that Wilma's working on has two parts. The first part is measuring water depth from the rainfall. So to do that, you can use a couple of things. This is a traditional rainfall gauge where you have your inches in big bold letters and smaller increments on the side that you could put it up on your deck or on a stoop or something like that and have it constantly measuring rainfall. So what Wilma did was she put it out on her back deck. The important thing to remember when you put it outside is that you want to make sure there's no trees overhanging. You're not underneath a gutter or kind of your roof or anything like that that's going to impede the amount of rainfall that's collected. The other important thing is that Wilma checked it around the same time every day to make sure she got a 24-hour cycle of precipitation measured. And then at the end of each measurement, you write down what the amount of rainfall that you saw was, you dump out your gauge if there was any rainfall that day, and then you reset it back up so it's ready to collect additional rainfall for the next day. The second part of her experiment is looking at the amount of water in the channel. So to do that, Wilma took a PVC pipe. This one is about 3/4 of an inch thick and nice and sturdy. Her channel wasn't really deep, but if you're in an area where you have really deep water or really swift moving water, she installed hers in the middle of the channel, but you may want to put yours up against something a little bit sturdier, like a bridge, where it can be have a little bit of lateral stability to it, so it won't bend in the channel. In order to be able to view what the water depth is from the channel bank, it was important to make markings along the pipe that she could see from the channel edge. So what you can do is you take a tape measure, you lay down your pipe, and you lay it along the length of your tape measure. And at 1-inch increments, you're going to take a Sharpie and make a marking along the entire length of the PVC pipe. And then turn it to the opposite side and do the same thing where you make a marking at every 1 inch. At every 6-inch increment, so every half foot, you're going to do a nice bold black Sharpie line around the edge, this half foot increment. And then at the 1 foot increment, you're going to do a nice, either a bright red line with a Sharpie marker, or another option would be to use something like red duct tape cut in half to make a nice bold line. And so here's a gauge that's been finished, and you can see that you have your 1-inch increments as small black Sharpie lines. Here you have a thicker black line at the half foot increment. You have a nice bold red line for the full foot increments, and you have these big bold numbers that you can see from the channel bank safely when you're looking at your experiment. The other important thing that Wilma had in her materials for this project experiment was a waterproof notebook. It's nice and durable. She could take it out if she had to take measurements when it was raining. She didn't have to worry about the ink running. And the one tricky thing is that you can write on it in any pen when it's dry, but if it is raining, you either need the special Write in the Rain pen or a pencil, so that way it can show up under all conditions. But yeah, with those materials, you should be ready to roll.